Amazon began with an impossible promise: offer more books than any physical bookstore could ever hold. Jeff Bezos did not choose books because he dreamed of owning a bookstore. Books won a contest. The reason they won explains how a little online shop became a machine built to sell almost everything. Back in 1994, Bezos worked at the investment firm D.E. Shaw in New York. Then one number grabbed him. Use of the World Wide Web was reportedly growing by around 2,300% a year. The number did not tell him what business to build. It told him that a strange new opening had appeared, and it probably would not stay open for long. He made a list of roughly 20 products that might work online. Music was there, computer software, office supplies, clothing. Then he started comparing them. Books had one wonderfully awkward feature. There were millions of different titles in print, far more individual items than even a giant physical bookstore could put on shelves. A shop inside a building always had to choose what made the cut. A shop made of web pages did not. Bezos was not asking, what do people already find easy to buy? He was looking for a category where the internet could do something a normal store physically could not. A local bookstore could be cozy, helpful, and full of smart people. It still held only a slice of the available catalog. An online database could place obscure technical manuals beside small press books, forgotten novels, and bestsellers. Amazon did not need a personal copy of every title sitting in a warehouse. It needed to know that the title existed and how to get one. Books were also kind to a beginner retailer. 2 new copies of the same edition were basically the same thing. Customers did not need to try one on or check whether it matched the sofa. The author, title, edition, cover, and ISBN explained most of the product. A book fit in a cardboard box. Parcel companies already knew how to move one. Large distributors already had electronic catalogs. So Amazon could connect pieces that already existed. The web displayed the enormous catalog. Wholesalers supplied much of it. Delivery companies carried the orders. Amazon sat in the middle and tried to make the mess look simple. Today, that sounds painfully obvious. In 1994, it sounded risky. Most people had never bought anything on a website. Plenty had never used the web at all. Typing a credit card number into a computer and waiting for a book to appear felt less like convenience and more like volunteering for a security test. Bezos left his job and moved west. Amazon was incorporated in 1994 and opened its virtual doors in July 1995. The early operation was tiny. The customer offer was not. In 1995, Amazon said it carried more than 1 million titles, around 40 times the selection of a typical mall bookstore. During its first 4 weeks, books went to customers in all 50 U.S. states and more than 45 countries. Imagine doing that with actual shops. It would take buildings, leases, staff, and years of expansion. A single website reached those places almost immediately. Books made the internet's advantage visible. Selection and reach no longer had to match the square footage or address of a store. Then the loop started tightening. More titles attracted readers hunting for books they could not find nearby. Those visitors created orders, reviews, searches, and clues about what people wanted. The clues helped Amazon improve search, recommendations, alerts, and the way books were presented. A better experience brought customers back. Returning customers made it less reckless to spend on more selection and better service. Amazon did not invent recommending books. Good booksellers had done that forever. A website, though, could remember what millions of people viewed and bought. In 1997, Amazon advertised personalized recommendations and alerts for new books by a reader's favorite authors or in subjects they followed. The catalog was learning how to sell. Calling it an online bookstore now misses half the story. Amazon was learning to organize an absurd catalog, take payments, predict demand, move orders, answer complaints, and persuade strangers to trust a screen. Every book sold was rehearsal for a larger retail company. The growth came quickly. Amazon reported sales of about $15.7 million in 1996. 1 year later, sales were about $147.8 million, an increase of more than 800%. By the end of 1997, The company said it had served more than 1.5 million customers. It was still losing money. Bezos told shareholders that Amazon would favor long-term market leadership over short-term profit. That sentence did not make the danger disappear. It meant spending hard on software, warehouses, the brand, and customer service before anyone knew whether the company could produce lasting profits. And a much larger opponent had noticed. Barnes & Noble brought stores, purchasing power, publishing relationships, and billions in sales. It launched its website in 1997 and sued Amazon over the phrase "Earth's biggest bookstore." The dispute was settled, but the threat was not imaginary. Amazon could not beat a superstore by becoming its smaller, internet-shaped cousin. It needed the web advantage to improve faster than the physical advantage could move online. Books forced Amazon to tackle unpleasant problems early. A million-title catalog is useless when search is bad. Wide selection feels like a joke when orders disappear. A discount buys no loyalty when delivery is unpredictable. The promise worked only when the website, warehouse, wholesalers, payments, and customer service behaved like parts of one machine. Once that machine existed, it did not care much whether the next item had pages. In June 1998, Amazon opened a music store offering more than 125,000 titles. Customers used the same account, cart, ordering system, and delivery relationship. Video arrived later that year. The catalog grew, but the habits were familiar. Search a huge selection, learn from behavior, recommend useful items, make checkout painless, and deliver to the door. People often compress this into "books were only the beginning." Fair enough, but that makes the beginning sound more planned than it was. Books were not a disguise for a complete 1994 blueprint covering cloud computing, streaming, groceries, and every later experiment. Those businesses came from separate choices across many years. What books supplied was a training ground, a pool of returning customers, and a repeatable pattern. More selection made the store more useful. A useful store attracted more shoppers. More shoppers justified better infrastructure and later attracted outside sellers. Greater scale could reduce costs, support lower prices, or pay for faster delivery. Those improvements made the store useful to even more people. That is the flywheel now associated with Amazon. Its mature form included third-party sellers, lower prices, giant fulfillment networks, and services that did not exist in 1995. The first push, though, came from a basic mismatch. The world contained millions of books, and no physical shop could show them all. The machine also had a darker side. Relentless expansion squeezed competitors. Warehouse operations attracted criticism over working conditions. Amazon's growing influence raised hard questions for sellers, publishers, and regulators. A flywheel is not automatically admirable because it spins. It only means one advantage keeps strengthening another. The usual lesson from Amazon is think big. Bezos certainly did. The more practical lesson is almost the reverse. Begin with a narrow problem where a new technology has an unfair advantage. Amazon did not open with every imaginable item dumped onto a chaotic website. It chose one category whose enormous size made the internet clearly better. Books were searchable, standardized, shippable, familiar, and almost comically numerous. Each feature covered a weakness in early online shopping. Customers understood what they were ordering. Amazon listed far more than it owned. Distributors filled gaps. A plain box carried the purchase. When the book arrived, the customer learned something more valuable than whatever was printed inside. Buying online could actually work. That trust could be reused. The first order might be a novel no local shop stocked. The next could be a bestseller. Then a CD. Then a movie. The object changed, but the account, payment details, recommendation history, and habit remained with Amazon. So why books? They created the biggest gap between what a physical store could display and what an online store could offer. Amazon could provide a dramatic customer benefit before internet shopping felt normal. The clever choice was not simply sell books. It was finding a wedge that let the new medium win on day one, then using every order to make that opening wider. If you were building an online store in 1994, would books have been your first pick, or could another product have beaten them? Tell me what you would have chosen. Sometimes the first shelf decides how big the entire store can become.